Hey guys, today I'm going to do a video just showing you how we can multiply and divide equations from word problems, okay? So let's take a look at this first word problem. It says, Nia wants to celebrate her birthday by eating pizza with her friends. For $42 total, they can buy P boxes of pizza. Each box costs $7. Write an equation and solve for how many boxes of pizza she can buy. So there's two things here that we are required to do. We have to write an equation and then we're going to solve for the variable P. Okay? So as we're thinking about this problem, I want to come up with an equation that I can use to help me think about the amount of boxes of pizza that she can buy. So I am going to think about the total amount of money that she's going to spend. And if I take that total amount of money and I divide that by the cost of each box of pizza, the cost of each pizza, that will tell me how many boxes of pizza she can buy. Okay, so let's see. The total cost divided by the cost of each pizza, that will tell me P, which is the boxes of pizza. Okay, so that's one way of thinking about this. And now I could plug in the information here. So my total cost is $42. I can divide, so remember our slash is another way of doing our division sign. The cost of each pizza, which is $6, and that should give me P. So there's one equation that we can come up with, all right? Some of you are probably reading this and thinking about another way that we can come up with an equation, which is maybe the cost of each pizza, okay? And if you multiply the cost of each pizza by the number of boxes of pizza, which is P in this case, boxes of pizza, that will give you your total cost. All right? So this is first way, and this could be a possible second equation. So the cost of each pizza, which is $6, multiply that by P, and that will give us a total cost of $42. So remember, we mentioned before that whenever you are writing equations, there's often more than one way to write equations for this. Okay? So either way would be acceptable. So let's solve. And how about we solve for both of them? So in this case, for the first one, okay, I'm going to just move this up. I'll write number 1. Okay, let's solve. Okay, so number 1, we had 42 divided by 6 equals P. And I'm just going to write that over without any of the dollar signs. So this one's pretty simple because I don't have to isolate P. And by isolate, I mean get P all by itself, because it already is all by itself on the equal sign. So I don't have to do the inverse operation. I don't have to do the opposite operation. I can simply say, well, how many times does 6 go into 42? And the answer to that is 7. So that means P is equal to 7. All right, that was pretty simple. All right, let's try solving our second equation that we came up with. Let's see what we come up with for our answer. So that was taking $6, multiplying it by the amount of boxes that we can possibly buy, and that should have given us $42 total. Okay, I'm going to just write that without the dollar sign. Okay. Now here, in order for us to solve for P, I have to get P by itself. So since 6 is being multiplied to P, I would have to divide or do the inverse operation. In this case, I have to divide 6. So I'm going to have to divide 6 to 42. Cross that out, and I'm going to be left with P all by itself. 6 goes into 42 7 times. So either way, I come up with 7 as my variable, which is correct because, like I said before, you can come up with different ways to write an equation. That's completely acceptable. And as you can see, we were able to solve for both ways and come up with P as our correct answer. So in this case, Mia can buy 7 boxes of pizza. Okay, and that's one example of how we can go about solving word problems, writing an equation for word problems and solving for it. Okay, let's just quickly do one more example. This says class 631 is selling candy bars for $4 each. They sold 125 candy bars and finally reached their fundraising goal. Write an equation and solve to show what class 631's fundraising goal was. Okay, well, you always have to stop for a second and think about what exactly is going on in this word problem. I have to analyze it in order for me to think about what I would need in order to solve. Okay, well, to come up with my fundraising goal, I need to know the cost of each candy bar, and I'm going to have to multiply this by the amount of candy bars to get that fundraising goal. Okay, so the cost of each candy bar, I'm going to have to multiply that by the number of candy bars sold. And that should give the fundraising total. Okay. And I can't really come up with another equation that I think is as good. Could come up with a division, but I think this would be the best bet. If I wanted to solve that fundraising goal, I would pretty much multiply the amount of candy bars by the total of each, by the amount of each candy bar. So let's put this, plug the information into this here. So the cost of each candy bar was $4. And I'm going to multiply that by the amount of candy bars that was sold. And that's going to tell me the fundraising goal. And in this case, this word problem didn't give me a variable, so I'm going to use F as my variable. Now to solve for F, I don't have to isolate it, it's already by itself. So I just have to do some math, which is just multiplication in this case. So 125 multiplied by 4, 5 times 4, which is 20. Regroup, 2 times 4 is 8. Plus 2 is 10. Regroup again. 1 times 4 is 4, plus 1 is 5. So that means the cost of each candy bar times the number of candy bars sold, F is equal to a total of $500. So the fundraising goal was $500. And that's it. So I hope this was helpful for you to be able to go back to Google Classrooms, take a look at the word problems that are presented today, come up with an equation, and solve the equation. You're doing 2 things with today's task. All right, good luck. Bye-bye.